salvation I will retain. The enemy can't never take my joy. If you hear me on this track, then make some noise. I need thugs that will ride. Devil's a snake. He tells lies. I need thugs that will ride. Devil's a snake. He tells lies. You think because you fornicated, you can't rock for Christ.
Oh my god, it sounds like somebody on the second stage at the gathering of Kid Chocolate.
That was Risen the Reaper.
With Lies He Told.
Lies? No, it's
No?
called He Lies.
No.
But the movie where I watched
that's
it.
the song was He Tells Lies.
You guys, we should tell them who we are.
I smelled.
I eat bugs.
That's a snake. I smell smoke. He tells lies. The man over there, he tells lies.
Okay,
It sounds
okay.
like he's like being debriefed and like some sort of
That's that's like my favorite song.
You guys realize we're recording?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's tell them who we are. Hi. Hi, audience. Welcome to This is Time of My Lifetime. This is the podcast. We're three friends here in DC, and we love Lifetime movies, and we watch old ones on YouTube and talk about them and dissect them, so you don't have to. So let me introduce you to my two co-hosts real quick. You probably heard them carrying on and laughing before. This is beautiful and talented Miss Juliana Michelli. And this is our wonderful host, Mr. Jordan Wigdor.
Oh, hi. I'm just going to go by Risen the Reaper this evening. But,
Was that your song?
Taken.
It was so the movie we watched tonight.
Oh, wait, I didn't say my name. Hi, I'm
and
Rocky Jones. Nice to meet you. Okay, no, continue.
No, I was just going to say the song ties in because the movie that we watched tonight was Lies He Told.
Yes, 1997, starring Mr. Gary Cole, who you will remember from the movies Office Space.
Yeah,
and,
Lumberg.
Yes.
Lumberg. Yep.
And I don't know what else he was in, but he was in like lots of Lifetime things.
Yeah, he was in
He's one of those actors that I think shows up a lot in movies, and you're like, oh, that guy.
Yeah.
But yeah. He's was made for Lifetime.
Yeah, he's actually, so in this movie, he plays a guy in the military, and there was actually a movie I recorded a couple weeks ago that I never got around to watching, where he was also in the military, but it was from like 2007, and it was like, it sounded very similar, and I never got around to watching it, but that's kind of what made me think about watching this one tonight, because Lies He Told is just super crazy good.
It's insane.
It is so insane
It's
and
so
hilarious.
insane.
It's
like...
it's one of the best Lifetime movies I've ever watched. It has
Wow.
it's because it's just so crazy. Like,
Well, should
I
we
don't
do
even
like
know
a
where to
little
begin.
quick synopsis of the plot? Because
Yeah.
like I feel the plot is very just sort of straightforward.
Yes.
It's just the details, the shading
the shading is what
inside
we'll
the
get
lines,
into.
which makes
Yeah.
no sense. So here's just sort of the framework. We open in San Diego. There's a Halloween party. A man is speaking in a strange Australian accent to a bunch of clowns. It's Halloween. Did I say that? I don't remember.
Literal clowns.
Literal
I
clowns.
assume it was Halloween, they were all in costumes.
Anyway, a woman walks up to the bar. She's dressed as a cowboy. She's apparently there for a work trip. They bump into each other, have a meet cute, and Sparks fly immediately. They end up having a wonderful night. They part ways because he works for the government, in quotes, doing secret things that keep him away from loved ones for long periods of time.
He's extremely secretive.
Extremely secretive.
And then it turns out that he goes back to his base. He's married. He has 2 kids, but he can't get this woman off of his mind. So he fakes his own death to go be with her, marries her in secret, goes AWOL from the army. They start flipping houses.
It's the 90s,
It's
so
the 90s.
you can't lose flipping
Right.
houses.
Right.
It's
There's
As we'll talk about
housing
later, I'm sure.
boom. So for some reason, strangely, that plan doesn't really work out. He tells her that he has to go back and do some more secret missions for, quote, the government in order to receive his back pay for his, quote, retirement.
Right.
Leaves for a few weeks, comes back with a whole bag of wet money, which we will get to. And it turns out that he has been robbing banks.
Yeah, because they're severely in debt.
They're very in
Yes.
debt. The house flipping did not go well.
No.
So he decides he's going to rob banks to supplement their income, and then she finds out and shit hits the fan and he gets arrested. And based on a true story, or inspired by a true story,
By actual
apparently.
events.
I would love to know how true to the story this one was.
I feel like we
really love to know.
got stoned and looked it up the first time we watched it, and he did
yeah.
not look like Gary Cole.
No,
as I
he
recall.
didn't. The real guy did not. I think. Yeah, he didn't.
Was Gary Cole more attractive?
Yes. Oh, much.
Yeah, I
But
think
not by much. He was pretty attractive by.
Well,
like,
that's what you'd hope in any sort of remake
Not like
of
that
your
guy-
life. You want like a more attractive
Oh
person.
yeah, no,
playing you.
Denzel. No.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Who would play you in a movie? Do you think, or who would like you want to play you?
What's
in a
that
movie?
guy? Michael B. Jordan.
Oh,
he is
that's who I
so
want.
handsome.
I like
That's who I want.
I like Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B.
Yes.
Jordan. Very
I like him a
handsome.
lot. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be me
Okay.
in a different life without the spear gun. But
Yeah.
hi.
Jules,
I don't know
the Jules story.
the Jewel story. Maybe like Elaine Venice from Seinfeld.
Julie Louis Dreyfus.
As
Julia
Elaine
Louis-
Venice.
Yes, as
Oh, as Elaine playing
as me,
you.
yeah.
Okay, so it's Julie Louis Dreyfus playing Elaine playing you.
Yeah.
I like that. That's
Yeah.
very in depth. Okay.
What about you, Jordan?
Oh, Keanu Reeves, obviously.
Oh well, yeah.
Clearly.
He has a crush on Keanu Reeves.
Keanu.
So,
Keanu.
I love Keanu Reeves.
what should we get into first, you guys? I feel like there's so much to talk about.
Well,
It's crazy.
So I think the craziest thing in this movie, the craziest thing I think is how incompetent the military must be
I don't
because of how he
understand.
fakes his death.
And,
Yeah, go ahead.
well, yes, the military is incompetent for her, but the way that he fakes his own death is he goes for a bike ride in the middle of the night and then bikes across a bridge, destroys his bike with his attempts to destroy
He
his bike.
Like slams it into the guardrail
and stomps on it with like some pretty intense boots, and then jumps over a bridge into the water and swims to the shore where he has a go bag
Buried in the dirt.
in the dirt, and he takes off. And so I think one of the bigger questions was like, okay, we understand you're in the military, you're into covert missions and like doing all this crazy stuff, but like, why wouldn't you just divorce your wife? It seems a lot easier.
And it seems like he was a senior official in the military. Like he had his picture in Encyclopedia Britannica
Yes,
with
it was.
Ronald Reagan,
George
with
Bush,
Margaret
Margaret Thatcher.
Thatcher.
Oh yeah.
Like, so he clearly was a big muckety muck in the army.
Yeah.
Like
He's
he
probably
would've gone-
he's probably making bank.
he would have gone.
Yes, at
and
this stage.
if he decided to discharge himself or
Give it all up.
give it all up, like I'm sure he would have gotten a nice pension. I'm sure he would have. There's no reason why he needed to like commit a crime by going AWOL from the
Yes.
army, not like collect any of
It
the.
seemed like an extreme
like, it's
step
just-
to go from nothing to faking your own death. Like first he could have sat down and talked to his wife about it.
Like, I'm just not feeling this
Maybe
anymore.
a trial separation. He just like
Like,
launches immediately into like, what
like,
am I gonna do?
At least
Fuck it, I'm
something
gonna
where
fake
he
my own
could
death.
like see his kids.
Exactly.
Ever.
Yeah.
Well, it's clear from the beginning that he has zero interest in his children.
Right.
Right.
He feels nothing. And the scene where he's like, looking at his wife, like just cleaning the dishes, and then, looking at his children in bed before he decides to leave and fake his
Rubbing
own
their
death.
heads.
Like, he feels nothing
Yeah.
because he takes final looks at the wife, he takes final looks at the children, and realizes Yeah, I'm making the right decision. Fuck this family.
And then she turns over, and then she's like, turn on the sprinklers, and he's like, fuck it, I'm out.
Yeah.
Last straw.
But I love how you just describe her saying that, because all she does is provide him with a loving, supportive home. She's a gentle soul, and she just looks over, I'm going for a bike ride. Oh, honey, would you mind just turning on the sprinklers before you go? I love you.
Yeah.
See you later. And he's
But
just like, that's it. That's the straw.
Yeah, he's a bad
He's
person.
a terrible person.
But the other thing with the whole faking your own death thing, so in this movie, he's like super top secret. Who knows what he does? He gets waterboarded at one point in the movie.
In the second scene of the movie.
Like as a training exercise, like they waterboard him, so we know like he's into some deep shit.
And
probably.
he can handle his shit.
Yeah.
They think that they've drowned him, and he just like sits straight up and spits water in one of their faces, and it's just like, control!
Yeah, he's a badass. So
He's a badass
Yeah.
who's mentally deranged.
Yeah.
Because clearly the military churns out these mentally deranged
Or
people.
maybe it seems like he was deranged when he went in.
he probably
But that's later event.
he's
Probably, but like, I mean,
it
this
exacerbated
training
it.
only exacerbated
Yeah.
and made him a legitimate threat
But
to
to
society.
fake your own death in the manner that he did, he threw himself off of like a 20-foot high bridge into like a stream, if you will.
And the guardrail, it wasn't just like a thin railing. It was like 3 feet wide.
Very
If-
difficult to fall over or even be hit by a car and tossed over.
Exactly. Like if the army's if the army's theory is correct, then he probably would have just popped up in the air a little bit and landed
Yeah.
just on the guardrail.
Yeah,
There's
so-
no way he would have went over.
But they never bother looking for a body. They're just like, oh, our super secret guy is
Super
gone
Yeah.
with no body.
he wrote the textbook on covert operations, on
And he
evade
is
and
gone.
capture.
Just gone.
He's just gone. He must be dead. We can't find the body.
They don't
so-
bother looking for the body. There's a funeral. They all just assume he's dead.
And I should say, moving forward, as they've assumed he's dead, the funeral is happening, and simultaneously he is moving on very quickly with his future new wife. And he arrives at her apartment in the dark, in a rainstorm, and instead of knocking on the door like any normal person, granted it's a loft, but I still think that might have been a better... Anyways, he throws pebbles at the...
I mean, the loft would have been echoey.
Yeah,
She
he
would have
throws
heard the
pebbles at the
knocks
window
even
in a
better.
rainstorm to try to get her attention. It works.
It worked.
It works.
And she's wearing her Tuesday night satin and lace lingerie with matching robe.
It's like
She was ready for him.
She was
It's like I
ready.
said,
You know
she was waiting for him. She didn't know.
Oh, she had her makeup
she
done.
Didn't, she didn't know when
like-
it was gonna be, but she knew he was coming back.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that lingerie gamble paid off.
Yes.
And so he arrives in her apartment, and we learn very quickly that he has... What he tells her is, he's like, I'm out of the business. I'm out of the service. You don't have to worry about me.
Oh, because, well, earlier in the movie, just real quick, like, he had, like, a trip out to her, like, told the army that he was going, and told his wife, I guess, that he was going to some sort of
Training camp.
or whatever, and went out to see her, and they had their, like, you know, a week together where they, like, officially fell in love, and he met her very permissive, enabling family.
We have to talk about her very permissive,
We will.
enabling
We'll
family.
We'll
get
get
there
there.
very
We'll get there. But then it all culminated with, after a week together, he proposes to her, which she finds very strange and is just sort of like, I don't think that.
But she still goes
I don't
along with
know
it.
Who you are, but still decides that she's in love with him, and still, against her better judgment, goes along with it.
Because she feels her crotch is warm for him.
Yes.
Very much.
Very much.
And his nipples were very hard in that shower.
Oh,
scene.
and his
His
furry
chest
chest
hair is very
hair. Ooh, it looks so soft and just diaphanous in the light.
Yeah.
Just, mm,
Those scenes were.
I like that.
There was.
I like that.
Yeah.
Not the rest.
So yeah, like she knows that something is up early
Yes.
on because he's very secretive and can't tell her what he does or where he goes and you know, and she's like, I don't know if I can deal with that. You know, if we're gonna have a future together, I need to know where you are.
Which is completely reasonable.
exactly
More
And
than
so,
reasonable.
I mean,
Mhm.
I think that statement there although he had already proposed to her at that point.
But like,
So I don't know if he had a plan at that point to fake his own death. But once she said, "I need to know where you are," he's like, "Well, that's it. There's no other choice. That's what you need. I'll deliver it to you in the craziest way possible."
Like, I'm not going to take a leave of absence from my job and separate from my wife. Nope.
And so he shows up to her house.
Fake my own death.
He shows up to her house with no clothes other than the clothes on his back,
which he swam in a river.
Which he swam in a dirty river. He's got no money because that makes sense.
Well, wait. If he didn't have another outfit, what was in his go bag?
Oh, I think it must have been his probably a toothbrush.
And like his birth certificate.
that one photo of him and his mom at graduation.
What was in his go bag? That's
what was in his go
question.
bag?
What do you put in a go bag if you're like, if that's what you're gonna do?
You can only take like a go bag's worth of items.
And it was a small go bag.
It was a small go bag. It wasn't a duffel bag.
No, it wasn't. No, it was like,
you know what it was? It was the size of like small like garbage can trash bag.
Yes.
Yeah. It made me think of
not
like
a kitchen size.
No.
A wastebasket, if you will.
It made me think of like an old timey
like
what they have.
Like in our
bindle.
office.
Yeah.
Yes, like a bindle. Yes. Yes. But he didn't put it on a stick. It had a handle.
So what do you think was in there? It's 1997. What's in your go bag? It's not your iPod, right? Like fuck. He's got
NSYNC CDs.
He's got.
He's got some identification.
He's got, and a CD player maybe.
his one favorite
with
CD.
with Risen the Reaper, and all of his albums. That's it. That's all he brought.
He totally listened to Metallica.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah. He's got the Black Album in that bag, like big time. Okay.
And that's it, basically.
Yeah,
probably.
That's it.
Because maybe a change of underwear.
Because he can't leave any evidence behind. He is an expert
evading capture.
So he knows he can't leave a trail.
But to show up with no money,
it's insane.
Yeah, it's insane.
They make sweet love in her loft apartment bed in her she's in her lingerie, and then he breaks the news. I'm out of the business.
Oh, that's great.
That's wonderful. Really? Yeah, I told you we'd be together. I told you you wouldn't have to worry about me.
Cool.
Here I am. For now and forever. I have no money and no job.
Oh.
What?
And no clothes.
No clothes.
No, not a damn thing.
Not anything.
And this causes her to sit upright in bed and like, cock
her
head to the side and be like, But then he has a way of just like
charming
her with his he's like
with his furry chest.
With his
That's
furry
probably
chest and
part
his
of it.
really strong hands. His hands are always like all over her face.
Yeah.
And like clutching her and staring deep into her eyes.
Mm-hmm.
He is I will say this, he is very manly. Like he knows how to do all that shit around the house. Like when
they start flipping houses, he's just like, let's go. I'm going to replace these cabinets. I'm going to pull up this carpet. Look at this hardwood floor.
What do you
wax it?
What do you mean that's all they offered? Don't they appreciate good craftsmanship?
Yeah. So he can do everything, basically. Except
and
be a decent human being and manage his goddamn money.
But he can lay that pipe.
He's terrible with money.
But he can lay that pipe. Apparently.
Yeah, apparently.
Did you say lay that pie?
Pipe.
Oh.
What does lay that pie mean?
I don't know. I was confused.
Yeah, get that pie.
I was confused. Is that a new phrase?
I was confused by your reaction.
He can lay that pie.
He can lay that pie. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Put all that coconut cream all over me.
Oh,
I'm sorry. That was terrible.
Much.
Keep it clean.
I'm sorry.
I think this is established, and yet they're not married yet, but they're still engaged to be married. And
can we talk about that conversation she had with her fucking mom, where she's like
enabling mom?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, this is the thing what we're talking about, and I'll hand it over to you in just a second. Like if your child or sister or
friend
had met a man, randomly, he has no family, he works for a secret covert government operation. Supposedly, you know nothing about his past, you know nothing about him, and
she did find him in the Encyclopedia Britannica.
That's
true. So she does know that
he is. Yes.
And apparently, I guess his wife got cropped out of the pictures, as we learned later.
Yeah, which is nobody.
It's
like when Anna went to cropped Kim Kardashian
out
of the Met Ball photo.
When she was wearing the flower couch.
The floral Givenchy couch.
That was terrible.
But during this whole, and then within like a week, they've only spent a week together, and already he's proposing to her, and she's like, yeah, let's do it. And then he comes back with no job and no money, and you'd think that everyone around her, anyone who cared about her truly, would be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Especially because she voices concern
Exactly.
and questions things.
It's not even red flags. It's
No,
like
it's
it's red just banners, just like flying from airplanes all around her head. Like
She says, I feel weird about this on like
She-
several occasions.
Yes.
She's like,
That's a direct quote.
direct
That's the
quote.
line
I feel
that the
really
screenwriter
relentless.
wrote.
yeah. And everyone just says to her, oh, what's the big deal? He loves you.
Her mom is like, this is the fairy tale that most girls would dream of.
She's like, okay, I feel like I don't know the man I'm going to marry.
Well, after 41 years, your husband and I still learn new things about each other every day.
which, by the way, I don't believe that shit.
Or your father and I, or whatever.
Yeah.
They're not in bed. They're not in bed one night. It's like what was her last or middle name again? Like you didn't remember
41 years, and I just learned your father's middle name is Jerome. Can you believe that?
Things you learn every day after 41 years.
I
of
just
marriage.
heard that what he does for a living, he flips houses. He's been doing it for 4 decades.
The other day we were at the breakfast table and I said, Patrick, are you eating peaches? He's like, yes, it's my favorite fruit, and I'd done lost my mind. For 41 years, never knew
After-
Patrick liked a peach.
After 41 years, we were sitting at the breakfast table, and he was enjoying his bacon and eggs, as he always does, and suddenly it just occurred to me, and I said, honey, I need to ask you a question. After 41 years of marriage, and he said, what? And I said, where are you from?
In fairness, after 41 years, that might be a legitimate
It
question.
might get a little fuzzy.
Yeah, things are a little fuzzy. Were you?
Oh, you took it to
No.
an elderly place.
Anyway,
Anyway.
And he's also borrowing money from her father.
Yes, by the thousands.
Tens of
10,
thousands.
20,000 here,
although,
30,000 there.
but like again, not knowing anything about him, just knowing that he's jobless with no money, her dad just says, "Here you go. Here's our life savings. We were flipping houses. We made a pretty penny. Now maybe you can do the same. You love my daughter, and I love my daughter, and that's good enough for me." It's just like, what? He just hands him like just a blank check and being like, "Go forth," and she's uncomfortable with it.
Yeah.
It makes me
She's
completely.
uncomfortable with it. She's like, I don't know, Mom. This is your life savings, and it's kind of weird. You
And
don't know. And they're just like, oh, honey,
And afterwards,
this is what you do.
the first thing on her mind is always like, when are we paying my dad back? When are we paying my dad back? Should we use this money to pay my dad back? I think we should use this money to pay my dad
But
back.
she exerts no real power,
No.
which is so frustrating, and which is like, as I said, in all of these like Real Housewives scenarios, so many of the women are like just blindly like shopping and buying shit and like showing their fancy stuff off, and then their husbands are quietly squandering all of the money because they have complete control, and it's so upsetting. So
Yes.
she just let him have like complete control over the books.
Because she doesn't like doing that sort of thing, you know.
It's not my sort of thing, you know. And it's like, no.
No.
You are a joint couple. You should both understand and have control of your finances. But anytime she tries to get involved, he deflects and says, oh, let's just go to Vegas. Let's just take a trip.
Yeah.
Oh, I just
You're-
bought you another gold bangle.
Yeah, put it on. Oh, it's fantastic.
It's beautiful.
It made me very concerned
Oh.
what kind of house she grew up in, where her parents were just so trusting of everybody,
Well,
and her sister was so trusting of everybody. Like,
she says on their first
Yeah.
date that they were like a Norman Rockwell painting. It would make you sick.
like
Right.
And it's like, apparently...
they must have grown up. They have to be Mormons from like Salt Lake or something. The way they're very extremely. They're like and by that I mean like a caricature.
Yeah, no, they're...
Of
they're
like,
like-
trusting
they're-
supportive
yeah,
people.
right, yeah.
Exactly.
Like-
But yeah, you raise a good point, because it's like if she grew up in that household where like everything is okay and everyone's to be trusted, where did she get her skepticism from?
That's a good point.
Because, like, her
she's got these natural instincts.
her sister
everyone
clearly
keeps telling
did
her to ignore.
Yeah,
Because her sister
she's-
clearly does not get those genes. Did
She's-
not get those genes at all. Like when she
yeah.
uncovers the whole fraud
Right.
and like his name's not really his name and like whatever. Like she has that whole like conversation with her sister, which is so crazy.
I'm pretty amazed that her and her sister have survived this long. Honestly, trusting everybody that they cross paths with. These are the kinds of
I
women.
don't understand
These are the kinds of
it.
women that are like getting an unmarked taxi cab. Like these are like This
Oh my god, he bought me a drink.
I'm going back to his house. He says he's got a big TV. Like because this stems
But
from
also
this
her-
is the parents' fault.
Right, but also I feel like her dad's the same kind of person
Yes,
who would get
precisely.
an email from like
A
a
Nigerian person.
lord and be like, honey, this man needs our help in Africa,
Yeah.
so we better wire this money right away. But honey, I don't know if he'll be able to pay our mortgage. Oh, you don't worry about
He's a
that.
Nigerian king.
He's a Nigerian king, and don't you worry about the finances. We'll be just fine. Here's a diamond tennis bracelet. Shut up.
Because if we give him $20,000, we're going to get half that $7 million fortune.
So
Don't
they're
even
all
worry
they're
about
all
it.
living in a
I-
bubble
yeah,
of
yeah.
naivete.
Thank God this is
In
pre-internet.
Sacramento.
Well, that was one of the things that was like really interesting about this movie. It was pre-internet and pre-cell phone.
Yeah.
People were not on cell phones here.
Pre-caller ID,
So when
apparently.
she had to look up, her husband Dave's past, she had to go to the library. She had to consult an Encyclopedia Britannica.
She had to look through all the microfiche.
Yes, she had to request microfiche and scroll through that shit. So
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
a pain in the ass.
it was uncovering his past was very time consuming.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
With
Oh,
a new
and-
baby.
Thank you for saying that. They
Mhm.
had a baby in the midst of this with a very thick head of hair.
Very lustrous.
And that was also very upsetting. I thought that he would lose interest as soon as she said she was pregnant, because that seemed like that's what I assumed happened with the last family. It's like
I don't think it's about the babies. I think the babies are just sort of extraneous to him. It's about his sort of obsession and asserting dominance and control over these women.
See, I don't know. I mean, okay, don't get me wrong. He's a piece of shit. This guy is
He's the worst.
This guy is a scumbag who's got go bags. This guy sucks.
He robs banks dressed as Swamp Thing.
But I don't-
Which I
I
know
think-
is very scary for you.
yeah.
I think he was in love with second wife.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I believe that maybe at some point in time he was in love with his first
Probably.
wife.
Yeah.
What's not, but then again, they get married, they have kids. It's just this like old trope of like, oh, you get married and have kids, and the wife gets a little haggard in her appearance.
I mean,
Though she wasn't that haggard, but she gets,
well,
I'm quoting a friend. No, she just looks like, she looks like a normal like mom.
Yeah.
She just kind of like, transitioned into like a mom phase, and
Yeah, with the whole long skirt cardigan over a turtleneck.
very little skin was showing on that woman at all. I do believe her style was very puritanical.
It was that.
It wasn't just.
I mean,
I'm sorry to make fun of somebody's outfit at a funeral,
No.
but she looked like she was fresh off the goddamn Mayflower. She
Yeah.
was like crazy.
well,
Yeah,
so when you
it's
take
very
when you
pilgrimish.
when you take all these things together, it's some could see why he would have to get up and go, right? I mean, all right, okay, anyway.
Well, why not? If
He
you,
cares nothing of commitment,
No.
and
No,
he
he's
also
the-
has
yes,
no
he's-
emotional attachment to his children
No.
or
No.
to the life that he's created. So, yeah. So I kind of thought that once this baby came with the new wife, he would also start to lose interest. He's like, God damn it, it's not just me and her anymore. Now we have this baby.
No,
But
quite the
his
opposite.
obsession with her remained steadfast
Yeah.
throughout the entire
Mhm.
film.
Yeah.
And yeah, when he started, so they're flipping houses, and within the first house, they're not even done flipping the house. They've like just started putting in some painting a few coats. A couple walks in and says, "Hello, is this house on the market?
Well, not yet, but it will be soon.
Can we take a look? Come
sure.
on in." They walk into the entryway,
The
Then-
living room, then the kitchen.
in the kitchen, and say, "We'll take it."
Can we make an offer?
Yeah. Like, do you even want to see the upstairs? No.
You don't even know if there are bathrooms, let alone how many.
Or bedrooms, or like a basement. Is there
Right.
enough storage?
Right.
Like,
Is it haunted? These are questions.
Yeah, like what? And then so they're like, "This is easy.
This is gonna be
This
awesome.
is like the easiest job in the world." And apparently it was for like the first 9 months.
Yeah,
they
they flipped
successfully
five
flipped
houses.
5 houses, but then the
That's-
market.
That,
It-
yeah,
it-
that,
it
that's,
took a
that
crash a
scene
little
would
bit.
give a naive person a very strange view of what it is to flip houses. I
Yes.
think, right?
Yeah.
If you like, if you were raised by her parents, for instance, like, and you were like, oh, it's this easy. Like, anyway.
Yeah.
I just don't understand how he flipped like not 5 houses in 9 months by himself, doing full renovations of these houses.
Keep in mind, she quit her job to help him with
Oh,
the
so
renovation.
well, it was the two of them. Like, no,
But
you need
still.
contractors.
Well,
And
maybe they had the contractors too.
maybe.
I don't
right,
know.
well,
He was deeply in the red.
I'm just saying.
That's true.
Deeply in the red.
And knowing like how intense he is and the control he
About-
has,
yeah.
he can probably force himself to work for like 48 hours straight
Yeah.
without any sleep or food
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
water.
While being waterboarded, probably.
Probably.
Waterboard me.
Which so naturally he does the next.
Bag me.
He's full of just the most illogical decisions. You know, first
Yeah.
Makes
it's
no goddamn sense.
first it's faking his own death. Then I think it's the rushing off and getting married immediately. Followed by then he doesn't bother looking for a job. He just starts robbing banks.
Let's start flipping houses and then robbing.
I mean, after that
Right.
goes south. Like
Yeah.
he's just like, well, got to do the next most logical thing. Time to start robbing banks.
Because I think he wants to stay off the grid because he now has
yeah.
no. But still, the fact that he would decide to rob banks is insane, and he does so in a crazy Swamp Thing outfit. Where
Does he feel like he couldn't get a job because he doesn't have a social security card?
Yeah, he's off the
all
grid.
that
Yeah,
stuff?
but he could
Oh,
probably
okay.
get that. He could get. I mean,
He could get fake-
that just faked.
Exactly.
He was like.
He's
You're right,
like
and
covert
he was-
ops.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He could have.
Like, it makes-
He could have gotten all that fake, but instead he's like,
Like,
fuck
he does-
it. That's
he
too
doesn't
much
know-
work. I'm totally just gonna.
Like
start
he
robbing
doesn't know
banks."
anybody who's in the criminal underworld who could help him with these things.
No, he has
and
to.
help him with this fraud.
Well,
After 20 years in covert operations, I don't understand.
You know why? He loves a thrill. He's a thrill junkie.
Yeah.
Okay? Because earlier on in the movie, he's just he's so bored with his average life.
Yes.
He's like, I'm bored with this average wife. I'm bored with these average fucking kids. This average house. I'm working an average job in the army. He was no longer in covert operations. He was
That's
just
true.
teaching
He's the
other
trainer.
Yeah.
people how to be covert.
Yeah,
He's just like,
uh-huh.
I'm so bored. I miss the good old days. And so now he's like, shit, I'm gonna make my own adventures.
Yes,
Because,
you have
I'm
to
just
be
gonna-
right.
You're right, because you know what? I'm going to say this. At the beginning, he enjoyed getting waterboarded.
Yeah, he did.
He did.
Yeah.
He
Oh,
got
yeah,
off
yeah.
on it.
Yeah, he
Oh,
did
yeah.
a little bit.
Oh, that's
If we
interesting.
panned
Yeah.
down, he
You-
would have had a huge
Huge boner.
Raging.
Huge boner. I'm surprised he could sit up that straight that quickly.
Oh man.
Yeah, that makes a lot.
yeah,
that makes
yes,
a lot
that makes
more
a lot of
sense.
He's in it for the thrill. So, robbing the banks, but when he starts robbing the banks, he comes back with all this money in various forms, and instead of trying to cover it up and be like, oh yeah, he could have somehow put that away in the bank or whatever, and just told her I
yeah,
got a check,
yeah.
it's taken care of.
Right.
Yeah.
But instead, and this is again speaking to he's proud of what he's doing.
Yeah.
So he wants to show it off, and he wants her to be proud of him. So he just dumps an entire bag of money that's
wet
that's
money.
wet.
She's like, this money is wet. What the fuck?
And what the explanation that he gives is do you
He's like,
remember?
Oh yeah, he's like, this is how it goes down. This is how they pay me when you're in special ops.
it's
Yeah.
dirty. It's dirty.
They pay you in wet money? Yeah.
They gave me a set of coordinates, and the money was 20 feet deep in the middle of a lake, so I dove down and I got it for you, baby. Sorry, it's a little wet. It's $40,000. All my dreams are gonna come true.
Which, by the way,
what the fuck?
They had how many mortgages did they say they had?
3.
3.
Even in 1997, $40,000 is not going to take care of your 3 mortgages.
No, no.
At all.
Well, that's why he continues robbing banks, and he
Yes.
gets the gold Mexican pesos the next time.
Oh my god.
That was incredible.
That was
This is just how they pay me. This is how they do it in special ops. That's when she started getting suspicious.
She was just
though.
like,
No, she was suspicious before that.
well,
'cause
I
she
mean, I
got
think
the-
that's when she started following him, right? After that,
I thought it was before that. I thought she had already gotten the key to the.
no, I don't know.
I don't remember,
I don't
but
remember.
somewhere in the midst of him robbing banks and being shady and disappearing to
For weeks on end.
for weeks on end,
Bringing back Mexican gold pesos.
yeah, she discovers a key that he was hiding in a drawer, and it turns out to be the key to
Safety
a
deposit
safety
box.
deposit box. And so yeah, she begins to follow him, and and kind of trace his steps.
Unravels the mystery.
Like, enlists her sister to help her sneak into the bank and look in his safety deposit box, where she finds his original birth certificate with his
real
original name.
Which is not clearly the name that he gave her.
Exactly. Right. And a photograph of him and his mother that...
that photograph was full of information.
Yes.
On the back it was like, I don't even know his name. To David from Mom. And then in front of it was like a picture of the library. Like
it was like Public Library.
Yeah. It was like, and she's like, I know where to go searching now.
Yes. She couldn't have found a better clue, especially in a pre-internet age.
Yes.
It's like, thank you.
Yeah.
None of this like, who is this woman? Where are they? Nope.
Right.
We have all the information we need.
Perfect.
Mom, library.
So she goes to visit his mother,
who's totally
in the dark. Thinks that he died jumping off or getting hit by the car and falling off the bridge. Like, has a picture of her grandchildren, obviously, and his wife.
Right.
He's talking about how hard it's been for them, and she's just like, oh my God, and realizes the whole thing. Realizes the whole thing.
And because she is legitimately in love with him.
Yes.
Despite all of the red flags and the weird feelings that she's feeling in her gut, she still loves him, and I think deep down she wants to believe that he's telling the truth and that there's nothing shady going on, but she can't not explore it because she knows there's something shady going on. But that was the moment of realization where it's like, this is 10 times worse than what I imagined.
And what I'll say is that she goes back and she tells her family the whole thing, and they are extremely supportive.
Oh yeah, well finally.
Finally. So
once she had legitimate proof, they're just listening to your gut or interpreting signs around you is not valued in that family.
Yeah, right.
At all.
Right. No, her sister is well,
they find out about that his mother is still alive and that he lied about the fact that his parents were dead and that he was orphaned.
The orphan son
Those are snakes. He tells lies.
The orphan son of the Australian ambassador.
Oh my gosh. So when it's discovered that his past was all a lie, his early years, and she tells her sister's just like, let me ask you something.
What?
How does that affect you in any way?
Oh. Well, yeah. Well, she says no.
Yeah, so yeah.
Oh, sorry. No.
No, right. So just drop it.
That he lied about his childhood.
What does it have to do with you or anything?
A lot of people do that.
It doesn't have anything to do with the man that he is today. The man that stood by Reagan.
And Thatcher.
Ron. Jeez. Yeah.
It's so crazy.
So again,
that's so crazy.
She's like,
what does it have to do with you?
A lot of things.
I have a child with this man. I'm married to him. Our finances are joined together.
Right. Our child has a grandmother who he's never met.
Who is alive, who I thought was under the impression was dead.
And that poor woman had a whole tribute to him in her house. It had to have been 2 years, right? It's just oh my God, this guy sucks.
He let his mother think that he was dead for 2 years.
This guy's the
2 years.
She did it to his mother and to his wife and to his
children.
He is beyond horrible.
Oh man.
And then with just the way he handled the finances and tried to keep her out of it, and she let him keep her out of it. That's the thing. He did have this dominance over her where she again ignored her best,
But that whole that just made me crazy because it was
it made me so mad.
It made me so crazy because and it's not just her. It's her mom, and then that scene where her sister comes in and was like, I didn't want to tell you this, but Dave, he borrowed $20,000 from Jerry, the sister's husband. He borrowed $20,000 from Jerry and he hasn't paid a cent back. And it's no, bitch, you should be angry because he borrowed $20,000 from you and Jerry.
Yeah.
20
grand.
The men folk, and their financial matters. Ooh, it makes my head swim.
Us ladies should totally stay out of that.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that was very upsetting to me. Very frustrating.
So
take control of your finances. Don't leave it in the hands of these nincompoops.
This man who has clearly shown himself to be a nincompoop Time and time again.
Time and time again. And every time she tries to say something sensible, like when they flip the first house and she's like, great, now we can save for our first child. He's like, oh, I just bought a Range Rover. Live a little. He tries to make her feel like she's an idiot. Live a little.
Yeah.
Let's go on vacation. Let's go
Come
to
on.
Vegas.
Just put on this necklace. Relax.
And then she's like,
Doesn't that feel good on your neck?
Enjoy that wet money. Like,
Gold, baby. It's gold.
now I'm going to climb a tree like a monkey at the family barbecue and save your nephew's balloon. Here you go, nephew.
Oh, yeah, that was
That really happened.
That really happened.
was one of his courting rituals.
It was so crazy.
This is how I show the men that I am worthy of. It's like that's like how she showed the family that he was
Yeah.
worthy of their
And they all
daughter, 'cause
applauded.
He could physically
Yeah,
climb a tree and save a balloon.
And they applauded.
Yes,
they
they did.
applauded. The barbecue stopped. Everyone turned around and applauded this man for climbing a tree.
He climbed that tree like a monkey, though.
He
Like,
did.
It was impressive.
He did. I'm sure he learned that in his covert ops.
Speaking
training.
of covert ops, the movie basically ends with one more disappointment out of the military. And
Oh my Lord. I don't even.
So she figures the whole thing out, and she's turns him into the military, and the military brass is like, we're gonna court-martial him because this is bullshit. Like, what the hell? So then she goes home, and she's in bed.
This is the same army who did not decide to investigate
The very same army that has no interest in searching for, I don't know, bodies
of one of their covert operations specialists.
So he goes.
But,
he goes back to see her, I guess.
That's
but
not suspicious.
she's got a signal that he finds that to call the military in, and they have this very endearing, I thought, conversation.
Yeah, but the military sets her up as bait for her crazy ass husband, and that made me so mad.
This man is clearly dangerous.
They get in helicopters from a military base that's, I don't know, 45 minutes away? They put her in, they put her in...
Such a dangerous situation. And the child. They don't even have her child,
Removed.
at the mother's house or something. They don't have decoys of, a doll.
Why is
and
she
a
even
woman.
there?
Another covert why couldn't it just be another covert operation wearing a covert operative, wearing a wig or something?
Right.
Because I think they're so afraid
But-
of him. The military's like, you don't understand. He's an expert in evading capture. So the military is so far away from the house, leaves her as bait, and gives her a signal to turn on
And it's not
to alert them.
It's not like he sneaks in.
They give her a life alert, basically.
Yeah.
Just push this button.
Just push this button. We'll get there in 20, 30
2030.
minutes.
But it's not like even
just hang tight.
it's not like he does anything even particularly covert to
If he
get
tries
into
to
the
snap
house.
her neck,
It's true. Just push the button. We'll be there.
You
Don't
know.
worry about it. Yeah.
Eyes, throat, groin. You know the basics.
She doesn't even have mace or anything.
No.
No,
She's
no,
in
she has
lingerie.
nothing. She's in lingerie.
Lingerie.
And her satin and
She
lace.
couldn't even be wearing boots and a full outfit in bed under the covers. I just don't understand. They couldn't put someone in the closet.
It's
They
another.
put her-
That's a very poor.
And it's like he doesn't even enter through the skylight or through he just
Walks
goes
in.
through the front door and walks up the stairs.
Yeah.
And then they have this whole confrontation. It was very peaceful. What I don't understand is they had so much probable cause. If they just had a van 3 doors down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe. And he didn't even have to go inside the house. He didn't have to go upstairs. He didn't have to do anything. As soon as he showed his face, he's wanted for deserting the army. He's wanted for armed robbery. He's wanted for fraud. He's wanted for all manner.
Polygamy.
Bigamy.
Oh, yeah.
And one of those is a violent crime. So he's armed and dangerous.
Very dangerous.
Very
There
dangerous.
is no reason. It's not like she was bugged to try and get evidence on him.
Poor showing for the military in this movie.
It
Very
just
poor.
makes no sense. He's a dangerous man. And it's just oh yeah, no, you, baby, just go to sleep. It's a normal, this is a normal situation.
But then, Jordan, talk about what happens with their conversation then. So he doesn't try to kill her.
No. They have a that's just it. So I mean, the military doesn't know that, but
No.
they end up having a very polite, civil conversation, and he's just he basically says, "I did it all for you, right?
love you."
Because I love you."
Yeah.
She's like, "I love you too," and then they embrace.
And then they embrace.
And he goes to jail.
Presumably, we never really see him in cuffs. You just see them. The last shot of the movie is the army moving in with the helicopters and the snipers and whatnot, and they're just sort of embracing in the window upstairs.
But the blurb at the end of the movie.
He
says
went to jail.
He does go to
Oh,
jail
oh, yeah,
for
yeah,
like
yeah.
5 years or
So
something.
I think 7 years for armed robbery and bigamy,
Yeah.
I believe.
Several.
Maybe they let him skate on the bigamy charge. I don't know.
So
7 years for that.
yeah.
That's all you get.
Any other big issues you want to talk about in the movie?
Not particularly.
You want to do favorite characters?
I mean, how about you?
Oh, favorite character.
But are there any other issues you wanted to discuss?
No, I don't think so. I think we covered it.
I think we covered it.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Well, yeah. All right, Jules, who is your favorite character?
Oh. Able to ignore their instincts when they.
Their better judgment.
Yeah, when they're like in love and when everyone around them is telling them that they're being crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're just being crazy.
Yeah.
And
He's wonderful and perfect. Don't doubt it.
Is it like a conspiracy to like just gaslight her, just like her whole
I don't
family?
know.
And everyone's just gaslighting her.
So, and then when she does finally like start to, follow him and like really dig into what he's been doing and then, uncovers all that stuff, like she takes it to the top. She takes it to the military. She confronts his wife.
Mm-hmm.
So, she owns it and takes responsibility for it.
Yeah.
And she is a victim in the crime. He
She
snowed her as well.
Yeah.
So
is she your favorite character?
I mean, I guess, but like I also just don't
Care that much.
care that much. I will say, he's kind of my favorite character, actually.
I mean,
because he's insane.
he's crazy.
He's the best.
He's great.
I mean, the best in this.
In the worst
sense,
way.
In the
Yes.
worst way.
Just every decision he makes is just there's no wronger decision that you could make.
Yeah.
Like it's insane.
He keeps it interesting.
He keeps it interesting.
Yes. It's a gang behavior. Is he your favorite character?
I don't know.
I'll go. I've got
you go ahead.
I've got two actually.
Oh, you've got two.
Yeah,
There's a tie.
Yeah, it's a tie. My favorite characters are the couple that goes in to buy the house because they are just like, is this house for sale? We'll take it. I love that. They're just flying by the seat of their pants.
They're decisive.
They don't get to see it
They're
upstairs.
decisive.
They don't care to ask questions. They are ready to make an offer today.
And he
You
was
know
just
what?
like,
The more I think about it, that type of behavior must be a symptom of the town that they live in. That's the same behavior as the parents and the sister. Like, just as like trusting. You said it'll be done soon. Good enough for me.
It's something in the water.
we love this neighborhood and we've been looking for a starter house. Who cares if it has bathrooms? I mean,
So they're
trusting.
my
Yeah.
they're
we
my
can
favorite.
dig an outhouse in the
Blindly
yard.
trusting. Blind trust.
That's
Yeah.
my favorite. Did you?
I mean, I guess. Oh God, I don't know. I mean, everything in this movie is so ridiculous. I don't know. I guess Gary Cole, just because he kept it interesting.
Kept it very interesting.
When that floozy at the bar tried to take him up to her room, he refused. So I guess he really did love her in his weird, twisted way.
He's crazy.
But yeah, a weird, twisted way, But I don't know. But I do think it was a solid performance from Gary Cole.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I would say. I think. Would we all agree? I would say that this is a very strong watchable movie.
Oh yes,
Very
I would encourage everyone to watch this.
One of my favorites.
It made me feel a lot of things.
You did. You were like
It was
yelling
funny,
the whole
I
time.
was angry. He got under my skin.
Yes.
And that's exactly what you want from a Lifetime
Yeah,
movie. You want to feel things. You don't want to be a robot.
Yeah. So good job, Gary Cole. You really got under my skin.
All right. Well, we can probably wrap this up.
Yeah,
then.
I think we can leave it
We
there.
covered all the big things.
Well, you want to go for it?
No. What?
Well, I just want to, on behalf of Jules and Jordan, I'm Rocky, and I just want to thank all of you so much for listening.
I eat bugs.
That's a snake.
He tells lies.
Where's my house?
That man tells lies.
All right. Until next time of my lifetime, I'm Rocky, this is Jordan, this is Jules, and we'll see you next week. Bye, America.